What if the truth about Israel's past could change everything? As a Jewish person, I've always been fascinated by the history of Israel. The Palestinians claim they were forced to leave, but what's not often discussed is that some made a conscious choice to leave in 1948, hoping the Jews would be wiped out. But when they returned, they realized they couldn't come back because they had made that choice. And why would Israel accept them back when their goal was to destroy the Jewish state entirely? They lost everything as a consequence of their collaboration and hopes for Israel's destruction, a loss that can be seen as justifiable under the circumstances. Can we understand the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Meanwhile, Jews were forcibly expelled from Europe, their possessions seized and left with nothing. Similarly, in many Middle Eastern countries, they were forced out with nothing. But instead of clinging to the keys of their former homes in Europe or the Middle East, they returned to their ancient native land, now called Israel, and started anew from scratch. What if the Palestinian demand for return is not just about Israel, but about reshaping the entire Middle East? The Palestinians, mostly of the Islamic Muslim faith, still carry their keys, hoping to reclaim the land and rename it Palestine. But it's crucial to understand their ultimate goal: to expand beyond Israel's borders, absorbing neighboring countries like Jordan and resurrecting a new Ottoman Empire. What's the true cost of denying the Jewish people their right to a homeland? Can we ignore the historical ambitions of the Ottoman Empire and its modern-day adherents? Their vision is not just to create a Palestinian state, but to re-establish a vast Islamic caliphate, erasing the existing borders and identities of the Middle East. This is the unspoken truth behind their cries for return and restitution. Can we find a path to peace that respects the rights and histories of all parties involved? I wish it were possible, and with many cultures, compromise and understanding can be achieved. However, when extreme Islamic ideologies are at play, it poses a significant challenge. These extremist groups, driven by a rigid and distorted interpretation of Islam, reject modernity, negotiation, and coexistence. Even Saudi Arabia, a Muslim-majority nation, is fighting against these extremist forces, which refuse to recognize the Saudi government as legitimate representatives of Islam. This extremist mindset makes it difficult to reason and find common ground, as they see their ideology as the only true representation of Islam. Western society needs to acknowledge and understand that these extremist groups are not representative of the broader Muslim world, but rather a fringe element that poses a threat to global peace and stability.